up, everybody? It's your boy Flash from ALWT Gaming, aka Malachi36. I am here with Gravity Mark II. How are you doing, good sir?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. It is E3 Tuesday. I am super stoked. It's that time of the year, as we like to say. It is that time of the year. I am stoked. My hype level is absolutely up here now. Sadly, I was working during the first couple days of E3, so my hype level is down here, but I'm up here now.
There we go.
I'm excited.
And also, as you guys know, again, this is the last day for E3. The Nintendo Direct had happened earlier. We're about to go ahead and react to the Bandai Namco event, as well as
that's an interesting game in the background.
yeah. That was on the Nintendo event earlier.
But you know I'm a huge Fatal Frame fan.
Yeah. but we're also we're gonna react to the Bandai Namco event, but also maybe go ahead and peep some of the GameSpot stuff that's gonna be happening a little bit later on. We'll go ahead and see. We'll see about that. But this stream would just not be right if we didn't have the one, the only. It's the Nine Ball. How are you doing today, good sir?
I'm doing better now. Just seeing a game that I'm interested in.
There you go. So actually, let's go ahead and jump into this because we're on the last day of E3, on the tail end of it. We're still kind of in the midst of Summer Game Fest. There's a few things that's going to be showing at the Summer Game Fest, and of course we have more events that's going to be happening as far as like the next SquareSoft or Square Enix presents. That's outside of this, but right, they had their event previously, but they're going to have another one. They're going to have another Ubisoft. They're going to have a PlayStation event to kind of show their stuff. Going inside here, here's what we did for Saturday. So Saturday, Ubisoft Forward, and actually, you know what? Let me pull up Game Fest. Let me pull up Summer Game Fest real fast because I want to make sure I have that list because that was technically first. That started on Thursday. So let's go and pull this back.
Rampa.
Yep. Event schedule. Let's see. Okay, so it's not showing me the past schedule, but we know that the kickoff live was this past Thursday. They showed a lot of different games there. The one that really stuck to everybody though was what it ended with, and that was the Elden Ring. So anybody's thoughts about Elden Ring right now?
I need to see more.
Cozy.
I need to see more. I want to see more. I think what we saw looked really good. Mm-hmm. It's just that I think at the very least right now I'm craving it. I'm craving more, and I'd say like my hype level's definitely up there, but I still just want to see a little bit more.
Okay, I can agree with that. I can contest to that. We'll go back to you there, Nine Ball. What were your thoughts about it?
To me, it's okay. It's all right. It's not. I mean, it was very Souls-like to me. Mm-hmm. I don't really know much about it. I don't know why I keep buffering. But I didn't get too hyped for it yet. I think they need more to show more for it.
I heard that. And just side note, it's just say the word if you need me to take over because I have it running still on mine, and I never stopped it just so that way we wouldn't have any buffering issues. So if it ends up being too much, just let me know. We'll swap it out.
All right. Yeah, I'm trying to just watch it from now.
Yeah.
Are we matched right now anyway?
We're muted right now, but yeah, we are matched as far as the actual like what's going on right now on my page and what's going on in your page. I think I might be slightly ahead, but that's okay. Like very slightly. But anyway, yeah, I'm actually. Go ahead.
Is it still showing on yours?
Yeah, it's still showing on ours.
Okay.
So yeah, now you have the little cast that's about to go ahead and talk it out and all that good stuff. But yeah, I was about to say Elden Ring. It looks more intriguing to me now that I'm actually like seeing it because before I don't think I saw a whole lot of gameplay for it in the first place. So it did look intriguing to me. After seeing that though, and everyone's excitement level and just really, really happy for it. Even heard Jeff Keighley even in his voice, like he was just like, "It's now finally here. It's time." Like you hear all that cracking and everything like that. So Yeah, definitely good stuff there. But can't wait to see more of what Elden Ring has to offer, and that drops, I think, at the end of next year. That's big. That's big. We're gonna fast forward on over to Saturday because I don't think that there was anything good. I know there was a Coach Media that had happened, and I've heard horrid things about that presentation. I didn't watch it, and I'm glad I didn't. But yeah, that one.
Which one? Which one was it?
The Coach KOCH.
Oh.
Yeah, what do you call it?
I didn't hear anything on Friday.
Yeah, I heard that was not that good at all. There's a few that were not that good. But then we did go ahead and react to this one, which is actually up right now on our list for Saturday, which was the Ubisoft Forward event and the Gearbox event. So that one I know you probably looked at it a little bit later there, Gravity. Me and Nineball had actually live reacted to both of these. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so saving us for last, which you guys can actually even take a look at our particular reaction video on YouTube. Just type in ALWT Gaming on YouTube, be able to find us easy peasy lemon squeezy. What were your thoughts about either event? Did you watch any of these?
You see, I've been trying to just go back and forth and just trying to catch up on some of the stuff. I definitely, at the very least, like last night and today, earlier this morning, I was watching the Xbox Bethesda event, I believe it was. Yeah. So I don't know if I watched.
That was Sunday.
So I don't know if I was able to. Okay, yeah, because I don't know if I was able to catch any of the Ubisoft one.
Okay. So the Ubisoft one did have a few that were kind of cool that sold me on it. Like Riders Republic looked really good.
Yeah, that's probably the best one in there.
Yeah, that looked really good. They started.
Let me just take a look see then.
They started reeling me more into Far Cry 6, but I know for me, I'm not picking up Far Cry 6 if there is no multiplayer. Like if I can't do, because Far Cry 5 I think is fun. I think that one's fine. But if it's gonna be a solo player, I'm probably not gonna pick up Far Cry 6. I can't remember more of what they had for Ubisoft. I know that theirs was mediocre. Theirs wasn't bad, but it was mediocre. Gearbox. What was the name of that game that they kept on showing after every 30 seconds?
Homeland.
Man,
I got Homeland 1 and 2. I'm gonna play them. It's I didn't know I had them. I must have got it through Humble one year or something.
I don't know. It was just one of those things where they're like literally forcing you this game.
Homeland is coming.
Every couple literally it was like filler. It was like filler episodes on anime. It was so crazy. But
you know what? The art doesn't look that bad for it though. No, wait, no. Oh no, Homeland.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, this is 2005.
Yeah, well, they kept on showing teaser announcements, but they didn't actually show any gameplay at all, and people just talking about Homeland 3, and that was it. It was just, and it was for a really brief 10 seconds, and then switch to something else. And I was just what are they trying to do here? They did show some more of Tiny Tina. They showed some more of that, which is the Neverland,
and
whatever.
About an hour of Borderlands.
Oh, Wonderland, yeah, the Wonderland thing. They showed us the cast of, well, not the cast, but they only showed Kevin Hart, but they did show us the scene, talk about the Borderlands movie. I don't know if this was the place for that, though. I think they shouldn't have done that. They obviously didn't have anything to show at this time, and they're just kind of filling in the gaps. That's how that felt.
I thought it was okay for me. It's just, I thought it was too long.
Yeah, I agree. So let me rephrase what my statement was. I 1,000%. No, I 1,000% what you're saying. If they showed you the movie because they're excited about it, cool. But they showed you too much of what was going on set, too much dialogue, and gamers are here for E3 for the games. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what you did not really show us a whole lot of. Surprisingly, the top event at the Gearbox, which is actually reeling me back in, Godfall. The Godfall expansion looked really fun. Looked really cool. And yeah, it was, go ahead.
You know what? I gotta say this. I sadly didn't see it, but I did see that there was a Godfall expansion, and maybe I gotta see it to get it to change my mind. like, just after playing a little bit of Godfall, it was just kind of like it. To me, it just seemed like more of a tech demo than anything, just to kind of show off like what all the PS5 can do, and not even like to the fullest extent of it. I've got to say this: the story for Godfall, not interested.
Yeah.
Not interested in the story of Godfall at all. And I'm trying to be nice because like I don't want to be mean to the developers or anybody because they worked hard on it. You could tell they put in a lot of effort in that game. But it was just like it just felt very flat. The story just felt very like it felt like a pitch. That's all it felt like. It just felt like somebody was like, "Hey, hey, here's my pitch for the story." And they're like, "Cool. Well, we're going to take your pitch and then that's just going to be the whole thing. We're not going to add anything else to it." And so when I saw that there was an expansion, I was just like, "Oh god, is it just another pitch? Like is that it?" But I didn't see it, sadly. I've been busy, but you did see it though. But so like, what were your? Because you said that you were actually you actually liked the expansion that they showed.
Yeah, it definitely looked really appealing. They brought in new armor. They brought in a new world. They kind of even expanded a little bit more on the story and stuff. They brought in new aesthetics too. So the lion armor that you can change the color of it too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was very good. And like what they also did. Now here's the thing that I think that they did do. I think because they announced that it was going to be on PS4. They announced that. I think the reason why that is because of how hard it is for PS5s to be had right now. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I get it.
But going backwards.
Yeah, I agree. I 1,000% agree with you guys. I don't like that they were going backwards either. But I will say that if they do bring it on Game Pass, if they bring it on PlayStation Plus down the road, and you pick it up for the PS4, it's cross-gen and it's cross-play. So we'll be able so I'll be able to play with someone that has a PS4, and I'll be able to play on my PS5, Godfall, and all that good stuff.
I hope they get cross platform.
Well, I mean, it would only be cross-platform for PC and PS5 / PS4.
That's fine. I got mine on PC actually.
Yeah, I was about to say because that one, that particular title.
I went ahead and bought it.
Oh, you bought Godfall?
Yeah, I got it for well, actually after taxes, like 30, but
yeah,
that's about what it's worth.
That one in general was a console exclusive, but if it is going to be cross-platform, that will be kind of cool. So I guess we're gonna have to see how that is at the end of this year. But yeah, honestly, out of everything though that was actually shown there, I would say that Godfall was actually the most enticing thing of Gearbox of what they showed.
Yeah, but it wasn't much in the way of competition though. You had like Tiny Tina, and about an hour of what was that other Borderlands movie, and
yeah.
I can't think of anything else.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Out of the Gearbox, because out of all the conferences, it doesn't hold a candle. But out of the Gearbox specifically, that was actually the best thing that I saw was Godfall, which again kind of started reigniting that engine of like me wanting to play this day one before we even knew what Godfall was going to be, before we even had the consoles and stuff like that. It's kind of reigniting that. Going on over to Sunday, I reacted to this one on solo, but Naraka Blade Point, 24 Entertainments, that game looks freaking phenomenal. That game looks absolutely fan-freaking-tastic, man. Practically what that is, it's literally your battle royale, but it's like melee combat, sword combat.
Oh, wait. Oh, you know what? This was the game. I think this was the game that I was kind of like fast forwarding through some parts.
Yeah.
Because like as much as I love the commentary, the whole like clip, the video that I had to catch up with was like 10 hours long. I think it was. And so I'm just like, I'm just going to like kind of like skip through some of it.
Just find the individual one. Then there should be like individual trailers for that instead of,
I'll have to look at that.
Thing.
I'll have to look at that because I think they're
a quick checkup just to give you guys a heads up. They should be starting here in the next 5 minutes, so I might be wrapping up the announcement portion of it so we can just see what happened. Go ahead.
But I think this was one that they were actually talking about that was referring to like a battle royale that was a melee type of combat.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm a melee boy. I can't do FPS. I'm not good at it. I'm just not good at it. I don't want to get good at it. I want to smack people with a physical thing. I want to smack people. I don't want to shoot people. But I think this was something that I saw that they were talking about, and then I just lost my place, and then I was like, all right, well, I'll have to find it later. But this looks really great.
Yeah, man.
This looks really good. So is this going to be like a full-on like 60v60, or is it like...
It looks like it's going to be like literally a full-on 100 person fight, but you have squads of 3. It's literally a battle royale. It's battle royale, but you have squads of 3, like how Apex is. It's just that instead of guns, some people have bow and arrows, and then others have. But it's so cool. The movements in there, straight up the movie Iron Monkey. If you guys have seen that back in the day, it's straight up like that. Like they're jumping all over the place, they're grappling. Dude, it's so cool. It's so cool.
Throwing on biscuits like Iron Monkey.
Some people will actually like they can transform into like a huge like almost Yeti type fighter for a time period. Other people are like can go invisible. It's pretty cool, man. This one has my full endorsement as far as the review goes. So I'm very excited about that.
Blade Point.
Yeah, Naraka Blade Point. That one is straight up on my list. Then we did have the Xbox and Bethesda game showcase, which we're not going to talk about that right now just because we only got 3 minutes, and this is going to take a lot more than 3 minutes because they did fantastic work at their showcase. And then, of course, we had the Square Enix Presents Back for Blood, and we're going to skip to the PC Gaming Showcase and future games because that didn't do too well. I know you went ahead and watched it, then I
kind of like the PC one. I watched that one, Capcom's, and Razors.
I was trying to watch Capcom's, but I was
you
too
didn't miss
distracted.
much on Capcom's. God, it was so lacking.
I feel like COVID really kind of like put a lot of stuff like behind, because I feel like there are a lot of titles that they didn't talk about this year, or they talked about and they're just like, yeah, like we don't have an official date for it yet, but it's probably going to be like 2022, 2023, that they would have talked about and they would have been able to show more had COVID not happened.
Yeah, that's a very strong expectation and thesis. I'm going to go ahead and unmute them because Greg Miller is talking right now. They're getting ready to introduce Bandai Namco. Guys, let's do it. E3, our reaction video. Let's go.
Now, the big question is, what would you guys like to see here from Bandai Namco Presents House of Ashes?
I am not familiar with this,
Sure.
but I have been told that it is scary. And I don't do well with scary. Yeah, spelled code Miko. It's scary. I don't know if I can handle that.
That's a different kind of scary.
Yeah,
That is a much different.
So I'm looking forward to, a different kind of tone of presentation.
Would you like me to hold your hand in this presentation?
Sure.
Yeah, I got it on my list. I'm just waiting to see
if you're
if
not
those
familiar,
sell
everybody, of
something.
course, this is going to be
Just to get the Steam
Bandai
summer sale
Namco.
stuff coming
I
out.
still want to say Namco Bandai. When they changed the name, it was years ago, and it still screws me up to this day. Of course, they're working with Supermassive Games on the Dark Picture Anthology, a whole bunch of different horror games.
Do you think we're going to see any anime games out of this? Like, are they going to announce the Demon Slayer game?
I heard a lot about
what is
that? People are talking about Naruto, Shinobi, Ninja Strike.
Of course, they've done Man of Medan already.
I mean, it's out, but I'm just wondering if they're going to expand on it.
More of House of Ashes.
I wouldn't mind that.
It's an exciting, different thing, right, Jackie?
Well, I have been
Definitely wouldn't mind if they expanded on it. I definitely think we're gonna see. I mean, it's Bandai Namco. Like we've got to be seeing at least like one or two anime games. I would like to see more of the Demon Slayer game, to be honest. I'd like to see a little bit more of that if they have it. But if they don't, like that's cool with me. Ultimately, yeah. Oh no, go ahead.
And I'm really hoping we get more of an inside
I'm
look
thinking
here.
we may see some more Soul stuff,
And
maybe.
it is bloody and gory and aliens and yeah, I'm here for it.
Scarlet
Yeah.
Nexus, that's
Not your
Bandai
cup of tea, but
Namco, right?
100% mine.
Yeah, I
I'm
believe
here
so.
for it.
Probably.
Think so.
Opposing forces get dropped into a Sumerian temple, right?
How-
All sorts of
say
supernatural
that one more
elements start
time?
popping up. We'll see
Isn't
what's going on
Samurai,
here.
Yeah.
So Golden
Samurai
Boy, we
Warriors
need
and
you
Dynasty Warriors
to get
also?
psyched up.
I think that's
You guys
cool.
gotta
That's
go.
cool.
I'm excited to watch it. I'm going to be very
that's Techno
scared.
Core.
I'm
That's
looking
got-
forward forward to it. I'm gonna go over to the media
Scarlet
area,
Nexus is Bandai Namco.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I'm gonna be horrified because it's gonna be
almost
great.
guaranteed
It's
we're
time
gonna see
though
that.
for
And that's
our
I
next
see more of that.
presenter.
I am
And here
interested.
with their
I just don't know a
2021
lot of
E3
it.
presentation.
It's definitely there's going to be an anime too. So even if you want to wait,
Ashes.
I mean, it's going to be on Xbox Game Pass. So you have a PC, a functional PC, so you'll be able to play it regardless for free.
Fuck Joe.
Yeah. Here we go, guys. Let's do it. Let's see what we got. First game.
House of Anthology.
Yeah.
House of...
Dark Pictures Anthology, House of Ashes.
I gotta start playing. I'm gonna start playing. I'll put that on the top of my list.
An ancient horror has awoken from its slumber and is hungry for blood.
Don't be watching this, Ohio. It sounds like
See
Cthulhu.
how many have fallen into shadow.
Satellite sweeps of the war zone have uncovered what appears to be an underground storage facility. But I strongly suspect it's where chemical weapons are hidden, so we need to move fast. Ready to go dark.
To descend into the unknown alone is extremely brave.
Man out, hold fire.
Or extremely foolish.
We're gonna side out this shit.
Brothers in arms, or will it be a case of each man for himself?
Down, get down! We're up on the ridge! Return fire!
It looks
You
nice.
cheater on the edge of
I just don't know
abyss.
what.
Your survival
It's gonna be a monster
depends on
down
the
there.
choices you make.
Have you ever played the what was that one that was on PlayStation 4? Until Dawn.
I started it, never finished it.
These luckless souls fallen into
No.
Probably be kind of like that.
So it's like almost like a Telltale type almost. Your
Yeah,
decisions will matter.
Yeah, and some people will die based off your decisions.
Snap. Alright, this might be interesting.
Oh, the story for this really looks like it just looks like one of those
Predator.
old and I say older at
you
yeah, kind of, yeah. It just looks like one of those just very simple, straightforward, hey, we're gonna go check this out. There's some, they don't know something's there. They get caught off guard. It looks simple enough. It looks like they're not trying to overcomplicate it. Looks like it's. They could easily make this a movie, and I'd be fine with it.
Yeah, that's
Like that 1980s, 1990 type movies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Predator, Alien, Friday the 13th, all of that.
We're here at Supermassive to talk about the next game in the Dark Pictures.
We smoking.
Ashes. I'm joined by exec producer Dan. How you doing?
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. Right, so let's start at the very start. We're going to be talking about House of Ashes for most of the interview, but for those that don't know, tell us about the Dark Pictures anthology.
The Dark Pictures is a series of narrative, story-driven, branching horror stories. Each one is standalone. They each tell a different story, completely separated from the others, but within the same universe, so there is connection between them all. House of Ashes is set at the end of the Iraq War in 2003, with links 4,000 years ago that set the story up.
So tell us more about the theme and themes, I suppose, within House of Ashes.
It starts off with a military unit. They've got some new technology that can look for weapons of mass destruction underground. They think they've identified something in the Zagros Mountains in Iraq. And then as part of that, they come into conflict with an Iraqi unit. There's a pitched firefight, and then the two groups are plunged underground. There's an earthquake of some sort, and it's revealed that there's a hidden temple underground. These big massive structures, but these different groups, they're all separated, radio contact is lost, and they're submerged in this black darkness.
Where on God's green earth have we landed?
And then they're going to start hearing things and seeing things, and people are going to start disappearing.
What the just happened?
So this time it's a very real threat.
All of the Dark Pictures games, they all pull something from real life or from history, from fact. What's the case with the myth or historical part of House of Ashes?
So we love looking at and reading myths and legends and stories and doing our research, and we know our fans love it as well because there's something that they can link into afterwards, and I love doing that when I'm playing games or watching movies myself. So this one's set 4,000 years ago, the Akkadian Empire, and this terrible evil that happened. We had this self-proclaimed god king, Naram Sin, and he essentially cursed his people. He sacked this temple and brought famine and devastation to his own people. And so a lot of the history is lost, but we've done a lot of research about it, and then we had a lot of happy accidents that linked into the story we wanted to tell. And the fun thing for us is we get to do our own take on it. We get to twist it, and obviously we've made our own truth from it.
At the end of the sneak peek, the trailer, we saw monsters. Tell us a bit more about what's going on there.
The military unit that you're playing as, they don't really know what they're coming up against. They're not human, they're bigger, they're larger, they're faster.
So this is
like...
like...
not going to know if there's one or two of them.
Extraction meets...
And that's kind of the...
Dead by Daylight.
They've got guns.
Until dawn.
But maybe there's another one around the corner. Maybe there's a group of them.
That was like the biggest detour I've ever seen in a game.
Hey,
Rainbow Six
And it's been really fun to work on. These things move around and how horrific they can be. They're different to us. They perceive the world in a different way.
You know what? I love it. I love that type of I love that type of twist, or like at least like that hard shift where they still have like the military characters in this new environment. I don't know. Have either of you guys seen on Netflix the series Love, Death, and Robots?
No. I know we talked about it before.
I've seen a couple episodes.
Yeah,
so
I haven't tried it.
That still need to finish the second season, but that series made me fall in love with anthologies. Like I mean,
so yeah, there's at least 60 unique deaths.
Yeah, like like honestly, like I wasn't fully familiar with the term anthology until I saw that series, and I was like, oh, I like that these are all like kind of standalone stories. I like that you can expand the story if you want, but ultimately you don't necessarily need to. And the idea that they're making all of these different anthology games that are honestly it kind of reminds me in a very loose sense of Final Fantasy, where it's an anthology where like every single Final Fantasy is kind of set in their own universe. I guess in some like spin-off games are all kind of like interconnected in some way or another.
More camera control, 360 cameras.
At the very least, theme-wise.
So we really leaned on that again, and it really works well.
I see where you're going with that.
In House of Ashes, lots of the game is set underground, and so these sort of corridors, which
one of my favorite shows,
impressive.
Still the black and white Twilight.
So we've had to learn because you take away the fixed cameras. And that takes away some opportunities for horror, but we've had to learn new tricks to scare people and ramp up the tension. And the chance for jump scares.
Younger generation goosebumps.
We've also got a new torch mechanic, so it's military themed, so these guys can walk around with weapons with torches mounted on them. We love the lighting that we do, this sort of really inky black darkness that we have. The contrast to the bright areas. And so you're going to need to lean on that torch to allow you to see where you're going.
You know what? I think anthologies are just such interesting things. I think there are a lot of stories lately that focus so hard on just trying to run as long as possible instead of just focusing on smaller, very well crafted stories. And at the very least, like, I'm not a huge horror guy. I'm honestly like I'm kind of closer to Malachi on this. Where like I might actually pick up a horror game. Like I'll play it. First jump scare I get, I'm like, nope, done. Nope, no thank you. No, I'm done.
There is power in being a coward. Let's go.
My heart can't take it. Like Five Nights at Freddy's. Sorry, I can't do it. Don't know how people can sit through all of it. Bravo to everyone who can. I just can't. I'm a wuss. Don't care.
We want you to connect
can't.
to characters.
I can't. But this looks. I will say it does look very interesting. I love the more the more modern military style that kind of coincides with the old ancient ruin aesthetic.
We want you to try and save them. We know that some people want to get
you might want to then give, like I said, Until Dawn a run. It's not as scary as you think.
It's jump scare. Are you serious? I opened the cupboard. And a raccoon came out and scared the crap out of me.
Not a raccoon.
Yeah, that ain't no. Oh, it's not so scary. Bump you to Aces. It is scary.
It wasn't like a haunted animatronic. It wasn't a monster. It was. Malachi saw a raccoon just go bah. And he's like, nope.
Yeah, because you weren't expecting that. Like you heard something, and your guy goes down and he opens it, and it was like a rat, not just a raccoon. It was like a rabid raccoon. It like flung at you. It was
so I love the jump scares.
Hey, what's going on with this guy who's missing the lips? What's happened to his face?
Can't hold you in that moment, so we've got some fantastic
gone.
As well.
I'm giving a flashback.
Allow you to relax for a moment before we scare you again.
To take your mind off.
My
Dan,
gosh.
thank you so much. This has been really cool to talk about, and I'm sure, you know...
Let's get on something happy. This dark anthology crap, I ain't with it.
And it's been a real pleasure.
I like the themes. I'm more of a, like, I can watch that kind of stuff. When I'm involved and I have to play it, that's a whole different story.
It can get tough sometimes. Like I said, I've beaten quite a bit of them. Like, beaten, like, the Dead Space and all those.
That's because you have no scare button.
Do you think it's people who like to be scared or like to have that type of punishment that like to play scary games? They're just like scare me, please scare me, for the love of God, just scare me.
Giving us these tired old blades nobody cares about. But this Blade 14, RTX 3080 built right in. Of course, the Razor.
I'm taking that.
Thank you so much. No, I'm taking
number 2.
Okay, we'll fight.
Some of the horror.
Let's see what we got. I hope they show some more Scarlet Nexus. I want to see what that has to offer.
Outdated. Nobody wants these anymore, right? Doesn't work. Golden Boy, you just saw the Dark Pictures anthology.
Yeah.
Your first glimpse of it. We have some reactions from you.
Oh, you do?
They were recording you. They said you were a little scared, not terrified.
Not terrified, thankfully, because it was just a normal trailer, which is fine.
See,
there's my face.
You're unsettled for sure.
Yeah.
No, you don't like that.
Don't like that. No, not a fan of that one either.
No.
Yeah, I think it was one of the jump scares in the trailer. I got the willies there at the end too. Yeah. I am not crazy about horror. I was actually talking to the crew at the back, and I said, it really takes a very twisted mind to come up with these things. But it is impressive, though.
Yeah.
Right? You heard there in the interview, Dan saying, like, oh, yeah, I love the jump scares. I live for the jump scares. It's
60 different death endings.
No.
60 different death endings?
If you've never played a Dark Picture anthology, you are moving characters in a third person. You jump around. It's like you're watching a movie. You make choices. Those choices lead to different setups, different settings, which leads to different...
That takes dedication.
But that's the idea.
Takes some dedication.
You're playing in your own horror movie is developing, and then gives you the reason to replay it.
Yeah. Also, a pleasant surprise for me was that Ashley Tisdale is in it. I didn't know that going into it, which I was like, wow, this is definitely an upgrade from High School Musical.
I was gonna say I haven't heard anything from her in
different
ever.
But yeah, and I think also because we had the VO panel yesterday, which was great.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show, right, like the impact the video games are having. Hollywood stars coming in, lending their voice, lending their face, their acting, their skills to this, really bringing these characters to life is just going to add even more.
I wouldn't mind seeing more of that.
That's a huge thing. If you've never played before,
it's been around for some time now. Like even starting with Elliot Page.
They go through. They use the facial
and
animation. They want you to feel like you're watching a movie. So we will see soon enough how the Dark Pictures anthology
all that good stuff
stands out this time around.
The two I'm thinking of,
but for now,
me would be
we'll
like say Keanu Reeves,
the only,
and of course Cyberpunk, and there was another one that was more recent.
Survival depends on choice.
Was it? It wasn't Death Stranding. It was
Death Stranding.
Is it Death Stranding? Yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, they also have the guy that was in The Walking Dead. He was the guy that was in The Walking Dead and Punisher.
You're really thrilled with the story as well.
He was in the
I am here for this.
I'm a big old history nerd, so I was super
Breakpoint.
stoked to hear more about the setting. It's really tying in a lot of ancient lore about the Akkadian Empire. You have Naram Sin.
Was it somebody else?
Guy who declared himself like the god.
Yeah. I mean, it was the guy that he was. You guys both started at least Walking Dead, right?
It's also interesting to use the Iraq War.
Well, not him, but there's somebody else too.
During which to set a
game. It was the best friend that sort of ended up screwing his friend's wife because he thought she was dead.
Oh
yeah.
That guy. Yeah.
He was also in The Punisher, but he's also the main villain inside Tom Clancy's Breakpoint.
Some research. I'm excited. I can't wait to experience all 60 death animations.
William Dafoe's in quite a few stuff.
I know the 60 unique deaths. Okay, Avi Chan's face right now is just killing me. Avi, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that if I'm ever trapped in like a dark cave, I'm probably gonna stick next to Dan because he understands what we should be doing. King of what now? You're looking up all this.
You know what?
I
gotta
don't know.
say,
I don't know
if we all fell into some ancient ruins and it was dark,
I don't even know.
how would we have tackled that? Just as a team, how would we tackle that? We're all in some ancient ruins. It's dark. We can't see very well. How are we gonna tackle that? Because I feel like, honestly, I'm just gonna look to you, Malachi, and I'm just gonna be like, Malachi, what do we do?
And you know what Malachi's gonna do?
Village, like at length, we both
Yep, end it quickly.
I'm like, Knockball, what do we do? And he's like, okay, hold on.
He's like, it's fine, we're fine.
We're fine.
Because that's exactly what I did with Until Dawn. Because I'm like,
I am shocked
cool,
though.
I can't
This
hold
isn't
the
the only thing that they're showing for
controller
Bandai
and, try
Namco,
to
right?
guide these teenagers to
I
safety.
hope not.
I'm kind of curious because they're taking a long time
Dan
talking
was going
about
into
it.
like the history of all of it, and I'm going as like, oh,
Probably just trying to fill in
that's
some
a little
space.
Too close, and
I
I
don't
didn't
know
pass
how
all
much
my
space
history
we need to
classes,
fill
but I
because
hope
the
that
next thing
Pazuzu
that's
doesn't,
up,
pop
let me
up
see.
anywhere in a textbook. But something that was really
Next thing
interesting
that's
for me
up
when we
is
were going through the
the
trailers and going through that little dev talk is that
Eureka
they showed us
Studio
Pazuzu.
thing that's
They showed
happening
us
at
the monster. They
3:20
showed us what it looks
their
like
time, so
inside
that's
the cave.
6:20
So part
that's
of me wondering,
6:20 our
like,
time.
usually with horror games, you don't
So,
show people the
I'm
scary
wondering
right
if they
away.
don't have a
So I'm
whole lot
wondering
of-
if maybe there's like
maybe that.
a hidden
Yeah,
layer
maybe.
or something else that they're
No?
not showing
Nah,
us yet
sounds good.
that's going to catch people off guard,
I hope-
thinking
I
that
mean,
they're
they-
going in and going like,
you
I
need
did
to
my
get
research,
curtains.
I know
Yeah, you
everything.
still can't have more
Deal with the
stuff.
Pazuzu.
but-
This is easy.
So you two would fall into the depths together, and then I would somehow be
So
stuck.
that's something that I've noticed with this E3, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you guys have seen a lot more of it live than I have. E3 this year seems little all over the place.
If I do negotiations, like
It just seems doesn't seem as well organized in the past, and maybe that's just because there's more developers. Because at the very least, like back in the day, it just used to be the kind of the big three. It used to just be Sony, Xbox, and Nintendo in terms of whatever they were doing, and then eventually they were like, oh, like here's like Ubisoft, here's like, and they had like all the smaller developers, but they, I guess like you wouldn't really see too much of them like get some screen time, and now they're giving a lot of different developers all of the screen time, which is great. I love seeing it because there are a lot of different games. There's been a lot of indie games that I've seen this year that I'm like, oh, that actually looks kind of cool. Like I actually like I'm like kind of saving it. I'm like going on to my wish lists and I'm like saving it there, so that way I can get my hands on it. But like, it just kind of seems like it's all over the place this year.
I personally agree.
Games have changed
Not bad.
so much over the years,
The
and with
thing
those
that I would
changes,
say
so has the
is
coverage
that
of our
one.
favorite
Hold on,
games.
my wife's calling
Outlets
after
like
these guys.
PC Gamer, IGN, Polygon, and GameSpot have all led the way in gaming coverage, and for the first time ever, we've assembled the editors-in-chief of all those organizations and our Voices of E3 series. Take a look.
Hello, welcome back to E3 2021. My name is Chris String. I run GamesIndustry.biz, which is one of the world's biggest video games business websites. And joining me today to talk about E3 and the future of games in general are some of the biggest names in the video games media, from IGN, GameSpot, Polygon, and PC Gamer. But rather than me do the introductions, I'd like to pass over to the panel. Hello, everybody. Who are you? What do you do? How did you get here?
Sure. I'm Christopher Thomas
I'm actually
Plant.
gonna,
That's my full
I'm gonna mute them real quick.
It sounds like
because
Christmas Plant if you say it really fast.
I'm wanting to see more gameplay.
You know what? I feel it.
Right now, so.
I feel it when you have a name that you gotta explain. Just like just one of those names that you say your name and people just kind of repeat it back to you. You're like, did I hear that right? And you're like, yeah, you heard it right. And they're like, oh, okay, gotcha, fine, okay. I just want to make sure.
So real quick, I will say back to your other point. I went ahead and muted them, by the way. I don't know if you guys heard that because I know I was muted through Discord, but I went ahead and muted them just because right now this is not the gameplay we're wanting. this is just them talking about other stuff now. I'm not even sure what it is anymore. But anyway, I will say for your inquiry as far as like E3 being organized, there's only two things that they did that I think was a little disorganized, or unorganized, if you will. And that was one, they waited until like that Thursday to give us the times of when each event was going to happen. So that was a little like, okay, this should have been a little bit more planned out and everything. I'm not sure if they're giving more power to the developers and the companies as far as be like, hey, when do you want to go on? This is how much you paid for X, Y, Z or what. And then 2, on the site, it was like midway through the week, actually, last week. I went to the site when I was listening to one of the funny games podcasts, and it said the 12th and the 13th were both Saturday. So there was like a small little like.
Oh, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, like so those are the only 2 things. Outside of that, I think they're doing a pretty decent job as far as it being all digital. And everything. I will say, one of the reasons why I may feel a little that way, like a little like unorganized, is because I feel like there's so much that's going on that's really condensed. Like you have the Ubisoft Awards still outside of E3. You still have the State of Plays outside of E3. You have E3. You have Summer Game Fest that's going on during the same time period. And on top of that, some of the stuff that's showing like at E3 is being also shown at Summer Game Fest. So like I feel like there's a whole lot of mess that's going on in that area. I kind of would like it to where if it's just like E3 had its own thing, then that following week would be all Summer Game Fest. Then the following week it may be a Ubisoft forward. Then maybe a Nintendo Direct. Then make like just kind of give us games after whatever. If they feel like that's gonna be too much, then split it up. Maybe about for the first month here, split it up by 2 weeks, and then the next here. You know what I mean? I think that would be a little bit more beneficial as far as a consumer standpoint. So that way we're not scrambling to find out which one do we want to watch right now, which one do we want to stream, all that good stuff. And that's probably one of the things, like, even though as much as I would like Sony to be at E3, I think that's probably one of the smarter moves that they did make as far as separating themselves, because then that week when they announced their State of Play, there's nothing but all eyes on their stuff. Like, that's it. That's what they did last year, and that's why it was one of the hype moments of last year when they had shown off the PS5 and everything like that. Second show was just as strong as the first, but the first was definitely better. But I mean, and then like Xbox, they started off kind of doing that at the very beginning, which wasn't that great, but then they started picking up the pace as it was going on, and then Xbox ended off strong and phenomenal last year too as well. So I think that that's part of the reason why you might feel that way, is because you might feel suffocated just because of how many events are going on during one single time period and what's canon and what's not canon and all that.
Yeah, and maybe that's probably it, because and I don't know how much of the Nintendo event that you guys watched earlier today.
90%.
I watched all of the Nintendo event. That was the first part of it, and then I think it was the Nintendo Direct. I watched all of it, and then the Nintendo Treehouse afterwards. I watched most of it. I didn't watch all of it, but I watched most of it. I was actually watching it just right before I got on. So I got to see a lot of that. And to me, that was probably the most organized bit of E3 that I've seen so far, where they're just like, hey, here's us at Nintendo. Here's another game that we have for you. And then they kind of show the game. They're like, hey, that was this game. Thanks for we're really looking forward to publishing this game. Here's a little bit more information on it. Now, here's our next game.
Yeah. Yeah, you did the snap too. Yeah. But I will say real quick. In defense of that, Nintendo has been doing directs that style for a very long time. So I would be surprised if it wasn't.
Oh my god, yeah. Nintendo's been.
They've been doing it before the pandemic. So so I wouldn't be surprised that it's not organized. The only issue that I personally have, which by the way, this E3 for this Nintendo Direct was definitely the best Nintendo Direct that I've ever really seen. But outside of that, the only issue that I personally have with the Nintendo Directs is that of how cheesy it is. It is very, very corny.
Oh, of course.
Oh, you should have seen the PC gaming show.
I streamed. Me and Mildew had actually watched the last one last year, and dude, man, that was a grind fest. That was very oh man, that hurt to watch.
Oh my god, it was such a grind.
Yeah, even for the and that was actually I didn't watch this E3's PC gaming show, but then like after hearing Kind of Funny Games, they said a lot of stuff of how I felt after the first one. They're like, a lot of this stuff that was being mentioned, like, yeah, they showed a few cool indies here and there, but ultimately they're not really showing us anything new. We've seen what Far Cry 6 looks like. We've seen freaking like all these different trailers that they were showing are stuff that's already been like revealed, and it wasn't really done in a creative, good way.
Let me pose this question.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned like PlayStation State of Play, and the fact that because they're kind of doing it like outside of E3, they're really having more eyes directly on them and what they're doing, and I wholeheartedly agree. I think in terms of a business strategy, I think that is absolutely a much better strategy for Sony in terms of what they're trying to accomplish. But I will say, on the flip side, do you think that them not participating in E3 is kind of, and maybe like other like developers or like maybe like in the future, like if a big company chooses not to participate in E3, do you think that ultimately maybe ends up hurting E3 a little bit?
I 1,000% agree. I think that right now, because of how people were able to survive last year, regardless of who you are, whether you're Bethesda, Xbox, Nintendo, whoever, I think that that's part of the reason why E3 is like scrambling to get back into something this year, which they did, and I think they're doing a pretty decent job, but not the best, but doing a pretty decent job. And then next year they had already announced that next year we're going to be back in person. Like the mayor had already announced that, but then it comes down to what our tickets going to look like. Like, because that was actually one of the biggest things, is that a lot of developers were complaining that it's so expensive and they only get like an X amount of time for that, whatever, to show off their stuff. And it was just, I don't know, just the whole makeup of former E3s just wasn't really the greatest, which is why Sony's not there right now. And I think even, I'm not sure if Xbox was thinking about leaving, but I know that there was other... Go ahead.
Well, no. Go on ahead. After you.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, I'm not sure if Xbox was thinking about leaving. I know that there's other developers that were talking about leaving. I think that Sony was probably the biggest one that actually left. And then they're just like, snap, like they're not going to be there this year. And I think I can't remember which developers it was, but there was another company that was thinking about not being at E3, and then COVID hit. So I don't know. I just think it just comes down to direction. How are they going to tackle it now? If another developer pulls out like next year, I wouldn't be surprised if E3 starts becoming a thing of the past in the next 5 years or so.
Yeah, and ultimately, like, that's something that I'm kind of concerned about, because I guess like as I've gotten older, I've found myself at the very least, like, I get excited for when E3 comes around, but I've found that at the very least, like, for the first like 4 days of E3, it was working. I had my big boy job, and I even tried to like have like, thankfully I actually have a job where I can actually kind of like keep it on in the background just a little bit, but even then, like, I just found myself just constantly pausing it and muting it because I had to focus on other things. And even like when I was done with work, I was like, I don't want to watch this right now, like it's just so much. Like, I had to wait until like yesterday and today to finally catch up, and once I finally did, I was like, oh my gosh, this is really great. Like, so like, I don't know, maybe it's just I'm getting older, and maybe like I'm just not getting as excited for E3, or maybe there's just something about this E3 that it just isn't quite as exciting as it has been in the past. And I think it might be the latter, because again, like as soon as my days off came on, I was right in it. I was super excited for it. I was really excited to see all of the games that they were showing off. And plus, the other thing is that I really was just kind of looking forward to everything. I was just really looking forward to everything. And again, with the pandemic,
yeah,
like it kind of really pushed everything back. There were games that we really wanted to see announced and that they just haven't really talked about, or like games that are just that they've just been like, hey, like we'd really like to get it out by like 2022, but it might get pushed back. Like, I mean, that's kind of what we saw with the Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
They were like,
oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Done.
Oh, go ahead.
I feel like, to be honest, with this new E3, I think everybody's holding back.
I believe that too. Yeah. Yeah, I think
it's a lot of directs coming up.
I think that's it.
Giving you a taste of what's to come.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you checked out, like I watched almost all of them. Capcom, they was holding back. Square Enix, I was expecting more out of Square Enix.
1,000% think.
I 100% agree.
I was thinking that there was going to get more out of it, but after I saw it and I was like, you know what? Square Enix and Sony, they're pretty like this. I wonder if a lot of those big titles that we're expecting is going to show up at this at one of the State of Plays. But go ahead.
Yeah. I feel like everybody's waiting for their State of Play. They just joined in now just to, show you that they're still there and kind of, I guess, get back to normality, I guess, in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was so many things I was expecting to see. Even a Bethesda, Microsoft. I was watching Call of Mush, and even he was going off about it. He said he liked it, but they wanted to see gameplay of Starfield and, let's say, Redfall. Nobody wants to keep seeing the videos of them.
True. Well, true. All right, so Redfall, I can't give you Redfall because that's a brand new IP.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like let that one. That was the thing that they ended with too. So Xbox obviously thinks that this is going to be something huge for it. But I can give you Starfield because I know Mildew Care was in the chat when we were reacting to it. He's like, boo. Like now, granted, at least we have a bit of a visual of what it looks like. I still don't understand the hypeness of it, except for maybe we can find out that if it's going to be anything like the next Mass Effect, because apparently everyone is rumored that this is going to be Skyrim in space.
Oh, God,
in space.
No. I did see some of the stats though for Stalker Chernobyl 2.
Mm-hmm.
Dropped their PC requirements.
Ooh.
And God, is that thing beefy? And that's just one game.
Oh. What are the requirements?
For minimum, about a GTX. They're saying a GTX 1060 6GB for the minimum for GPU. I think it's about 120 gigabytes of RAM. Hard drive space for the game. Yeah, they're getting bigger and bigger.
Oh my gosh! Come on, like, is this what? Is this Cold War?
I don't know.
Is this Call of Duty Cold War 2.0?
Yeah, man.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Real quick.
It looks good though.
I think that was it for Bandai Namco because they're just talking.
Just talking.
Yeah, they're just talking. Now.
They're just doing what we're doing. They're just talking.
Yeah, I mean, but they have a showcase. We just are just streaming. We're just streaming this.
I mean,
to it.
You know what? We'll let them do their thing.
All right.
They can talk over there. We'll talk here. Oh my gosh! But I will say one thing about this E3 that I've actually been very pleasantly surprised with is that it's something I haven't really noticed in a lot of past E3s. Because I feel like the past E3s have just been like, here's a banger title, great title, big title. It's just like a bunch of big titles that you can feel really good about. Whereas this one, like, I feel like you kind of have to like dig around for the good titles. But there've been a few indie titles I've been looking at that I've actually been pleasantly surprised with. Like, I think this was during the Xbox Bethesda one. I think near the end. One of them was Ollie World. You guys see that one? It was like the side-scrolling skateboard one.
Yeah, I mean that's been around, but that's on. I think that's even on Switch right now.
Honestly, like the art style looked really good. It just felt like a very simple concept and just like that. Like honestly, like I love games where you can just kind of get into that flow. And I was like, you know what? Like when I was first watching it, I was like, like I don't know. But like the more I saw it, I was like, oh, cool. Like you don't have to just keep going right. Like you can go left, you can go down. Like you could there's a lot of other kind of variations that you can do it with. And I was like, you know what, that looks kind of neat.
I'm definitely thinking this is over.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too. So I'm actually pretty disappointed in that. I'm not gonna lie. Like I thought it was gonna be.
Wow!
I was really hoping to see more Bandai Namco stuff. I mean, Bandai Namco has such a huge catalog. Even if it's something that's not like absolutely impressive, you already have a huge catalog just because you do majority of the anime games already. So that's a little. So Eureka is coming up at 6:20 our time. So in the next 21 minutes. That disappoints me. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit.
Watch them drop like a huge title in like 5 minutes.
I mean, yeah, let's hope so.
Oh my gosh.
June 15th. Xbox. So at this already happened, but Xbox SGF demo event had happened earlier. Tomorrow is Steam Next Fest, and that's for the Summer Game Fest, by the way. Tomorrow is Steam Next Fest. 6 days, hundreds of demos. And that's at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, and going back to your initial comment, Jeff Keighley is learning from his experiences, his mistakes, the feedback. He's learning. As for E3, they're just now starting to... They're throwing stuff at the wall right now because they didn't have anything last year and hoping to learn from that. I think that one of the things that made me excited for E3s in the past was that, again, was the banger after banger titles. The what is it that you don't know that's going to be there that's actually going to be there. I think that makes me excited for that, and that's why I'm still kind of excited for how this is going to end out, but we're getting towards the end of it, and my highest high point right now is actually Halo Infinite. I don't know.
Did you guys, Malika, you may have reacted to this. Did you guys get a chance to see Solstice yet?
Solstice?
Oh, did that slide under your radar?
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I wishlisted.
That was a game that Solstice looks really friggin' amazing. Solstice is, my gosh, who is the developer behind this? Hold on a second. This was a game that was announced over the past couple days. The main character, I think it was saying something that you control 2 characters at once, something along those lines, or at the very least, you have another character that's there to assist you. But the main character, she has a Buster Sword. And
the developer is Reply Game Studio.
That's an indie game, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks interesting though.
It looks good.
Okay, it had a ghost. It was this dude and there was a ghost above him, kind of of this girl that would attack with him.
And Malachi, this looks up your alley. This is medieval fantasy. This game, if you haven't looked it up yet, go ahead, look up Solstice. This is a game that I immediately was this looks amazing. Because before that, I had only been looking at indie titles, Ollie World was one. Minute of Islands was another one, which that one had an Adventure Time kind of art style to it. Lust from Beyond kind of has Lust from Beyond is kind of I can't think of the author. Lovecraft. Kind of like a Lovecraftian horror kind of series.
This was announced on the 13th.
I don't remember. And again, this because I had to backtrack, I was just jumping around to a bunch of different older videos, so I'm not 100% sure.
Well, that's when IGN put it up on their page. I'm pretty sure. So with that being said, I could almost guarantee you that if this was on Sunday, because I watched everything up until the Warner Brothers Back for Blood, so this has to be part of the PC gaming show or the future gaming show, so that's why I would miss it.
Possibly, yeah. Because Lust from Beyond looked really... It was really creepy, but the art style was just so interesting and gross and fascinating that I was like, I gotta keep that on my radar. I definitely want to keep an eye on that. One that I actually saw today was it's called Far Changing Tides. It's kind of like a side scroller, but you kind of sail around on this huge boat, and you can kind of go under. There's a huge underwater world that you can kind of explore. underneath, and I'm not doing a very good good justice, but it's kind of like the world, I guess, is like partially submerged. So there's like street lights and buildings and all of this other stuff that's like submerged underwater. So you still have stuff that's above water, like kind of like as you're sailing on this giant like cylindrical boat. But you can actually dive underwater, and it's this whole huge landscape of all of these submerged buildings and ruins and stuff. And it's a really pretty looking indie game that really caught my eye. If anything, I feel like this year, like, there's more indie games that caught my eye than anything main, because like you guys were saying, I feel like a lot of these, like, the bigger juggernauts in the industry are kind of like holding their cards back. They're like, we're just gonna save our big titles. We're gonna save God of War. We're gonna save, Final Fantasy 16. Obviously, they're not there, but
they're there. Hold on to them. They're going to be there. It's coming out this year.
Hold on to them. Final Fantasy 16, 2024.
You stop that. You're gonna be in the same boat as TBF Abyss.
You know what? I don't wish that on anybody. I don't want to get my hopes.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm kind of curious too to see if, like, outside of E3 and outside of Summer's. Well, actually, I'm not even sure if it's gonna be outside of Summer's Game Fest, because Sony has been doing their own thing, but I think that they actually, I think, are actually on the Summer Game Fest list as far as people that support it. Yeah, they're on there as far as Summer Game Fest partners. Sony's on here. So, so I guess you can tie in Sony with Summer Game Fest technically. I just don't think that they have an actual event that they're going to show off there. But I want to see more of the project that Sony's been working on with the Chinese program, because out of that Chinese program, there is 2 games that my first 2 games I've seen out of the Chinese program are 2 games that I absolutely think are incredible looking, and that was Black Myth, which is the Sun Wukong game. And then Lost Soul Aside, which is practically Final Fantasy 15 on steroids. Like, it looks absolutely fantastic. Both of those.
Oh, Lost Soul Aside?
Yeah, Lost Soul Aside. And
I've seen one game that was a pretty good surprise. For me, anyway.
What's up?
I would say Plague's Tale 2. I never thought I would see a second part to those.
Oh, Lost? Yeah. Immediately, as soon as I saw that, I was like, I see where he's getting Final Fantasy 15 from.
Yeah, dude. But the gameplay on that looks like it cannot be possible. Looks like it can absolutely not be possible. But, dude, man, it looks really... If that game is real, that is going to be one heck of a game for sure. It looks like they're rooting it in. Greg Miller's talking. Golden Boy's talking. Let me see what they have to say right now. So I'm going to unmute this on my side.
They're talking about the greatest first-person shooters.
Nintendo memories? Okay.
Oh, Nintendo memories. Which, by the way, like,
Super Mario Brothers.
Speaking of Nintendo, yeah, I liked how organized they were. I was kind of just, like, at the very least, like, by the time they were done, I was like, oh, they're done? Was it? Like, okay, like most of this stuff, I was just like, eh. Well, you know what? I made notes. I made notes for the Nintendo events as I was watching it. First and foremost, Super Monkey Ball. I'm actually looking forward to that. I actually never got a chance to play any of the OG Super Monkey Balls except when it was at a friend's house. I didn't have a GameCube, but every single time that I went over to a friend's house, they had it. I was playing it. It was fun. It's a very simple premise. Like, and it's a game that's just like...
Pleasantly surprising console, though. I had a GameCube. It was a pretty good console, actually.
Yeah, it for its time, especially, yeah. Like, where they had, like, that base unit where you could actually plug in your Game Boy games, your Game Boy Advance games, and play them on the TV. Like, that was something where I was like, oh, I have a Game Boy. I don't have this. I gotta play it on the teeny little screen. I want to play it on my TV. Like, come on now. Second of all, first of all, they started off with a new character for Smash. You know what? Smash, I love Smash. Smash is really fun. I feel like they're getting to the point where they're adding too many characters.
You gotta hit
The
that.
first-
You gotta hit that Fortnite level. You know what I mean?
Where you have that, they start overcomplicating kits and stuff like they do a Smite League of Legends and stuff.
Yeah, no, man, you gotta hit that Fortnite level. Next thing you know,
overload.
we're gonna see Dora the Explorer in Smash.
You know what?
I would love that.
Yeah, put it in a backpack, throw him off the edge.
I think this is a joke. You know what? I think this is payback for all of those years when people would just post memes about like so and so is joining the battle for Smash. They're like, oh, like what if this person was in Smash? They're like, okay, sure. You know what? Fine. We'll throw in this person and that person and this and that person and this person. They're just like, it's getting to the point where like when you go to the main screen, like choosing a character is like choose your character. It's like, wait, hold on.
Malachi, I just got an image of Dora the Explorer just knocking somebody off the stage. Going, do you know who was just eliminated?
Swiper, no swiping!
Swiper, no swiping. There you go.
But there's so many Smash characters.
You killed Diego!
And I guess I'm just like, you know what? It's like, if you want to keep their own Smash characters, go for it. I don't know how the Smash community feels about it. Maybe every time they get a new character, they're like, oh my gosh, a new character to play. At least for me, I'm just like, I'm not super heavy into Smash, and so I'm just like, oh, cool, another Smash character.
Mm.
Like, it's getting a little too much. But as I was watching, jeez, you know, see, that's the problem. Gonna keep getting all those characters in there. And they're like, all right, well, we gotta ban this person. You gotta ban that person. You gotta ban this person.
And
like,
you gotta end up like a 3-page, a whole hour-long thing on downloads, like they do a Smite. Like they have a whole update show, like hour-long. We readjusted this item. We had to nerf that champion down. We had to buff him up. Somebody's playing him. Oops, we overdid it. We got
his down B was debuffed by 0.57 seconds. So now he's okay now. But there's so many Smash characters. And at the very least, when I saw that they were coming out with some new Mario Party stuff, they're like, oh, like these are all like classic Mario Party boards from like the N64 version. And I'm like, dude, that's really cool. Cool. So it's another update to Mario Party, right? It's another update to Mario Party. Like I felt like that Anakin meme where it's like, it's another update to Mario Party, right? And he's like,
nope, it's a whole new one.
No, it's a whole new one. And you know what? They're gonna charge you $60 for it, and I'm mad. I'm like, they can have 50 plus characters in Smash, but they can't add any more friggin' like boards to the existing Mario Party that I own. I have to buy a whole nother Mario Party. Like, there's 3 boards. Or like it's like four boards. I have to buy a whole another $60 game for 5 boards. What is this? Why?
Just
They're
wait
like,
till they add Dora the Explorer to Smash. You got to rebuy it.
Yeah.
The Dora the Explorer DLC. Boots sold separately. After that, Metroid Dread kind of looks pretty cool. I'm not somebody who's super huge into the Metroid series. I've kind of like followed it a little bit over the course of time. I know it's been quite a while since there's been another game in the Metroid series. But I was like, oh, like this is kind of neat. It's like a new color Samus. It's like a whole like another type of world. It looks like I guess they're exploring like maybe the origins of the Metroids maybe, but like it's instead of like fighting Metroids, you're fighting like the robots. Whatever they're calling them.
Yeah,
I know they had.
I never dived.
Pirates.
Yeah, I never dove too much into Metroid, so I couldn't really tell you about that one. I just know that Metroid was something that I've heard Nintendo fans consistently be like, when are we getting the next Metroid? When are we getting the next one? That and Breath of the Wild 2, which now we have answers for that.
Yeah,
Metroid
thankfully.
Prime was a fantastic game, by the way. It was.
I heard a lot of really good things.
I actually had it, I want to say, back on the GameCube, I believe we played it. It was beautiful. I used to love that game.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
The only problem is, I think it was like, how many Metroid Primes? 2 or 3?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I never dove inside the Metroid Prime.
I think it's been since like the Wii.
I mean, it's been on Super Nintendo's Metroid. No,
I think like the Wii. maybe like the Wii or the Wii U was maybe like one of the last ones that they had. Think. I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong. I have no idea. Again, I haven't really been keeping up too much with the Metroid series, but it looked very new. Like it wasn't just like, oh look, another Metroid game where Samus is just running around. Like I'm like, cool. Like she's got a new suit of armor. Like she's got new enemies. It's a new area, and I'm just like, you know what? Like that's neat. That's cool. Like I'm glad that they're kind of like putting in a new mainline story, like a new mainline series, like for those fans. I think that's really awesome. Let me see. Oh, yeah. I was also really mad that they were another Just Dance game.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it can't. Yeah. And you know, Malachi, I know you dance. I know you teach some dance. I know you know how to dance. Well, how do you feel about another Just Dance game?
I'm over
Oh God.
Is that something you're gonna have in your household?
No.
Something when the wife busts out the little controllers, like, come on, Malachi, let's play some Just Dance.
That would be actually the only reason why I would have it, is if they wanted to jump on and play it and everything like that. Because I do have a Switch that you both use a Joy-Con. That will be good, but that will be the extent of it. I'm not interested. I haven't been interested in Just Dance or Dance Dance Revolution since like PS2.
We have one on the Wii.
Yeah, and I think that's when it's like kind of really started really blowing up, was during that time period, because again you can hold it. But even then, I still feel like that's 2 console generations ago. I mean, that was like before Wii U, for crying out loud. So I think it's run its course. I think Just Dance are just pretty much done. Like there's nothing else you could do with it. It's just like a Madden game. There's nothing else you could do with it. It's just having new songs and that's it.
I think my entire world with that game was shattered, and I realized that you could just sit on the couch and just have one of the controllers and just be like,
yeah, and that's why I think whenever we get inside of when we get to the future, which I don't know if will be in our lifetime, but if we get into a future of augmented reality to where your whole body can be synchronized to what's going on, then that will be different and that will be a little bit more engaging. But I don't know.
No, I think I'm gonna make some people cringe with this one. I think the Kinect actually like was able to track a little bit more, be a little bit more accurate, and be picky like with how you were moving your legs too.
Yeah. That's about to say. That's exactly what I was about to say. If you weren't black, then yeah, you were fine. But if you were black,
see, you know what? All of these issues, I don't. You know what? Like, I'm just sitting over here like, oh, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, no, I didn't exactly pick up Archon that well, did it? That was 9 ball.
Darn. Oh, man.
Oh, God, we did live in North Korea. They were watching the borders.
Yeah. I think it was a interesting concept and a cool idea. It's just the marketing on how it was portrayed and how it was delivered just destroyed the entire experience for it.
Have space for it too.
Yeah, you have to have a lot of space for sure.
Another problem was that they tried to force it on you.
That's what I'm saying. The delivery of it and the way it was implemented was just not. It was they shot themselves in the foot with that.
I actually, when I bought my my 360, it actually came with the Kinect, and I was like, oh cool, like it comes with the Kinect. Oh, that's nice. Then I remember I accidentally left it plugged in. I didn't know it had like a constant mic feed going on.
Yeah.
I think at the time I was trying to learn one of the newer Black Ops games. So like I had my younger brother kind of be like, okay, well like this is how you play, like this is what you do, this is what you got to do, and I kept getting so many like direct voice messages from people that were just like, turn your mic off. Like, dude, shut up, turn your mic off. And I was like, okay. I was like, I'm not plugging that in ever again.
Real quick, I will definitely throw this out here since we do have a little bit more time. Well, I don't even know what this next thing is, the Eureka Games. But real fast, as we were kind of going inside this, again, we did go ahead. I didn't see anything from yesterday. So the Mythical Games, the Indie Showcase, Freedom Games, I haven't seen Capcom. I didn't see anything from yesterday besides maybe a little bit of Capcom, and that was the extent of it. But for the last couple of things I wanted to end off with was the Bethesda Xbox Showcase, had some great stuff come out of that. The Square Enix Presents, which that one disappointed me because of my own expectation of what I put on it. But then after thinking about the presentation and what all they truly shown, that's why I'm like, depending on what they do at the Sony State of Play will determine if they just completely flop this year or not. And and I have a feeling that they're going to show their big stuff at the Sony State of Play, or maybe at their next Squaresoft Presents or Square Enix Presents. I keep saying Squaresoft like I'm in '99 still.
We're getting Parasite Eve.
Is that confirmed, or are you just saying?
It's happening.
It's happening. All right, he's just saying. But I mean, like, I wouldn't mind I wouldn't mind a Parasite Eve. I wouldn't mind, and I keep saying this every single time, the freaking Bouncer. Bring that game back. I wouldn't mind them to have a Legend of Dragoon remake.
What is God Hand?
I've heard about that. So there's Godfall, there's God Eater, and God Hand. I can't remember what God Hand is.
I don't know. People kept yelling for it in chat one day when I was watching it.
Yeah, I do remember that. Hold on, let's see what she says. It's Freedom Games. I'm going to go unmute this. I'm going to see if they have anything of importance. You guys can hear this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm assuming this is the Eureka Games, all that good stuff.
Whenever you need me.
I mean, I like the music.
Soothing. What am I looking at?
It looks like a turn-based RPG.
It looks like one guy made this.
Like
RPG.
I don't want to be too. It's always something where I'm like, I don't want to be too critical because I'm like, I don't want those developers to be like, oh, come on, this is just Fire Emblem. It's just a not so good Fire Emblem. Is what this is. I know I tried to be nice, but you know what? I mean, like the mobile game for Fire Emblem, so much better than this. Not to say that like your game has to look absolutely stunning or beautiful. It's just that this is maybe like the developer's first game ever. I could see kind of like maybe why it looks like that. It's just kind of like, I guess I've seen so many developers make games.
I'm Chip Moore,
that look...
game director for Dark Deity. And it's finally time to reveal the
I've
release date.
seen this game.
You may not know this, but Dark Deity is the first game that we've ever worked on. So to be at E3 showing this game is a dream come true.
It makes sense.
And
so everything that
what better way
Gravity just echoed is literally what he just said.
Dark Deity today, live on stream, right now. As of this moment, Dark Deity is available on Steam.
Oh my god, it's available on Steam, guys!
Oh my! It's a 20% launch discount.
Where's my Steam box?
I can hear Michael and Dane going crazy back there. Dark Deity is available now for download.
Did you hear they're going crazy?
So go check it out. And the developer showcases continue here at E3 2021. Now it's time for Eureka Studio.
Eureka.
There we go.
Let's see what they show us. And depending if this was a hit or miss, we might just go ahead and end it here after this, and so that way we can get to other video games that we want to play, as well as checking out the Square Enix, see if that's multiplayer.
So far, we've helped several indie games achieve success in the Chinese
Rage
market.
4, Neon
and today we are here to check out the latest selection
I've
of our
seen that
upcoming
game with
titles.
Chinese writing, but I can't
There
buy
are
it.
quite a lot of games here. Let's just get started, and I bet you'll find a new favorite.
Well, is that Wave the Samurai? Hold up. Did they show Wave the Samurai?
I don't know.
If that's Wave the Samurai 4, we in business.
I need to find a missing girl.
He needs to find a missing girl.
4 or 5.
But met a lot of resistance.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I just heard Keanu Reeves saying Hey, Samurai.
This
Probably
animation
like
is
one of the
actually
best
pretty
things
cool.
on that game, though, is Keanu Reeves' part.
What happened? I should be dead already.
Zishu, you need to find the journalist.
Yeah, there seems to be like a growing genre now. I've been seeing a lot more cyberpunk
style games, yeah.
I haven't. Well, it used to be big back in the '90s because you had like a lot of cyberpunk movies, like Nemesis and all those.
Runner.
Yeah.
I won't be surprised if a lot of these games were literally started to be in development around the time or when Cyberpunk was first ever announced. So before it even launched, I think that they're like, hey, they're doing this, let's go and make this or whatever. This one looks actually kind of cool though with some of the cutscenes that it's doing. I do like that.
It's a side scroller.
Yeah, it's definitely a side scroller, but it is kind of interesting what they're doing.
See Adam Jensen. I never asked for this.
SWS is a tactical siege game based on real-world physics. In this game, you can create your own squad and command them in battle. Capture enemy cities, and you will win the war.
Yeah, this is my game right there. Look at that.
Hey, look at them.
Like minions.
Look at them go.
This looks very much like Kessen.
Look at them go. They're going at it.
Like, I mean, I'm talking about the gameplay portion of it. Looks like Kessen. Obviously, the animation is definitely not.
You know, I feel like there's something to be said about graphics when it comes to like whether like we find something good or bad. And at the very least, I guess if I have to speak for myself, I feel like if I look at graphics that like you can tell are trying to be good but just aren't, you're just kind of I tend to feel a little bit more critical. But when I see something like this, where it's just like, oh, like the graphics don't look super good.
Real-life games. You have to check out Metal Mind.
Yeah,
and its 100% customizable mecha modifications.
You're just like, oh, like they don't look that good, but like they're not trying to be good. Like they're just being fun. They're just being goofy. They're focusing on gameplay.
Well, to the point of Final Fantasy VII original, that was just the time period it was at. So that was trying to be good.
It was good for the time.
During that time period, it was amazing. But now looking back at it now, it's just like, what were we ever thinking?
That's a cat spitting rainbows.
I was seeing that.
That's Nyan Cat.
Not taking drugs.
That's Nyan Cat. Like they're bringing it back.
游戏是一款融合了机甲改造和 roguelite 元素的俯视角射击动作游戏。玩家可以通过在地牢中探索和战斗，获取资源和部件，综合考虑装甲、重量、热量、电力等物理机制，按照自己的想法构筑六
It sounds kind of like what was that mech game on PlayStation?
最后战胜敌人，打
You had to
杀
build
死
your
亡。
mech with heat and all that.
Swordsman X.
I thought they were talking about MechWarrior 5 this week.
Yeah, I like that one too, but it takes so long to carry a mech.
With martial arts and the battle
And it costs a
series.
lot of money.
So this definitely was not Way of the Samurai at all.
It's better than Way of the Samurai.
It's like, can you craft your own little huts? Your own little place?
Better than Way of the
What is this?
That's so old.
Hold on a second now. There's crafting. Don't even get me started.
Look at that.
You know what? This kind of looks like a.
Ghost of Tsushima.
This looks like Ghost of, this looks like Ghost of Tsushima cross Valheim.
The Sword of Huntsman Survival. The Sword of Huntsman
Feel
Survival.
about that analogy.
It's another survival type.
You put really into survival.
What, Eureka?
Build defenses. Siege and loot.
Look, watching them build something that big is just giving me flashbacks. Giving me Conan Exiles flashbacks. try to build something really big, something really cool, and then someone just comes and then you have a, what was it, a horde? Yeah, or whatever it was. It was whatever like that big, giant like wave of enemies was.
It wasn't the horde.
It
was like the plague or something. I can't remember.
Is the construction and
Yeah, and then it wrecked everything. And I was like, okay, well that's 2 weeks of IRL time down the drain.
Help your residents build a town.
Really like their builders.
It's kind of giving me a almost a Stardew Valley, but also kind of a Dark Cloud kind of feel. At the very least, like in terms of the town builder aspect of it.
Oh, cool.
Dark Cloud, like as soon as like you dungeon crawl and you pick up all of like the lost like city parts, you can like rebuild them however you want. You do have to talk to all of the townspeople because they're like, oh, I want my thing right here, or I want like my shop to be like adjacent to this person but close to this.
Reshaping Mars is a strategy game where players construct and manage their bases on Mars. Your goal is to modify the planet into a place suitable for life.
That could be really good or really bad.
No, I thought this game was already out.
I did so too. I just got a game called Surviving Mars.
You know what? Maybe that might be it. Surviving Mars might be it. It's like I didn't know it was kind of like a build your own kind of city kind of thing, because I thought it was more like almost kind of like a third person you get to run around kind of thing.
全球的玩家朋友们，你们好。
Oh man, look at his cat. Cat does not care. Cat, look at it. Cat is just chilling. It's just grooming itself. Cat is having a great time.
能源、研究科技，不断地改善火星的居住条件，迎接
I've got to say, anybody who has cats, like you have to negotiate with cats. Like you have to negotiate with cats before you go on camera, because if you don't, as you have seen in the past, they just do whatever you want. They jump on your desk, they walk in front of your camera, start chewing on your cords. At least one of them.
Moism is a Chinese martial art detective game. You will play as a detective who defeats enemies with wit and a silver tongue. Crack the case and bring justice to the world.
It's just Ace Attorney.
I was gonna say Ace Attorney, but with combat.
It's not, I don't think it's even with combat. They say you beat him with wit and a silver tongue.
Come on, duel! An objection has been called. Fight over. Well, you killed the defendant, so I guess you're right.
Oh, I guess. The only one get out of this.
如果宗明之死确实如我推理的那样，那么这庄子里的每一个人，都可能是杀人凶手。
That's all for today's showcase. We hope you're looking forward to these games.
We'd like to thank our talented developers for bringing their games here, and thank you too for watching this video.
To stay up to date with all the latest news, please be sure to follow our official Twitter account.
Right now. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and call it. I was on the fence if I was going to go ahead and have this.
Go. To end the stream.
Yeah, you get end the stream for that. Yeah, but I was about to say I was kind of on the fence if let me go ahead and get out of that too. Stop watching. Stop watching. There we go. Bam. All right. So yeah, I was about to say I was kind of on the fence if I was going to if we were going to go ahead and try to react to the GameSpot event, but I guess we'll go ahead and watch that later because today was a little bit of a disappointment. as far as
call it like it is. Just could have been better.
Yeah, it was definitely disappointing as far as like again what should have been or what could have been.
I did like the House of Ashes anthology other day.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That was it. Like I was wanting more. I was expecting more. So But I want to give time back to us, so that way we can again get back to other games that we want to play tonight. Definitely want to try to link up with you there, Gravity, and see if we can get some co-op going on that demo. If not,
if it is, then let's do it. If not, we gotta play something else. Yeah. Do you still have Ultimate Fighter 5?
Yeah, I do.
I'm down. I got it downloaded.
All right. I mean, you have it downloaded there? Oh crap! Is that just on PS5?
I think it might be PS4 too.
Did you ever download Ultimate Fighter 5 or Virtua Fighter 5 there?
Yes, I did. It should be downloaded. The kids and stop it.
Okay, so we can get a little tournament going on if you guys want to. Either there or
I'm down.
I'm gonna pull up my House of Ashes and I guess start that up the next couple of days.
Well, there you go. But yeah, I had to get going. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. But of course, for anyone that's currently watching, again, very much appreciate you guys for tuning in, checking us out. If you guys, the events that we reacted to as far as the E3 goes is listed as this. Saturday, we reacted to the Ubisoft Forward in the Games Gearbox, I should say, Gearbox E3 showcase. You guys can go to YouTube to check that out. Sunday, I was solo on 24 Entertainment's Naraka Blade Point. And then It's the Nine Ball had joined me for the Xbox and Bethesda game showcase. And then I did the reaction to the Square Enix Presents. That one again on YouTube. You guys could definitely check that out on if you just type in ALWT Gaming inside the search bar of YouTube. We didn't do any reactions yesterday, and then today we saw the failed Bandai Namco Entertainment because they only showed one game, and then Eureka Studio. So hopefully GameSpot Play for All showcase will be more presentable and good, and we'll be able to hear something throughout the woodwork of that. But that one we're not going to react to. Tomorrow, however, we have this Steam Next Fest for Summer Game Fest. We're not going to react to that, but we're just going to check that out. Xbox on the 17th, which is Thursday, is the Xbox Showcase Extended, which Paris Lily from Kind of Funny Games and from Spawn on Me host an extended look at Xbox games. So if you guys are Team Xbox, that's something that you guys do not want to miss. That's 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Summer Game Fest. And then after that, we're like, I'm not sure if there's any. They have this EA Play Live, which that one is TBD still, but that's going to happen July 22nd. But again, that's July. That's a full month out. So there's not really a whole lot. And of course, if you guys like music, then on the 23rd of this month, so a week from Thursday, I think it is, you'll be able to watch the Sonic Symphony Orchestra on the Summer Game Fest. So be on the lookout for all that. But as far as ALWT Gaming goes, that wraps it up for us on episode 52 of ALWT Things Gaming. This Saturday, we do have a Smite Night. So not Saturday, but this Thursday we do have a Smite Night. It's pending this Saturday if we're going to be doing a 9 to 5 segment. I had it on the schedule initially for us to go ahead and do. So we'll see if that's going to stick to that. So be on the lookout for that. But of course, make sure you guys are checking us out on streaming platforms such as YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the whole nine. Just type in ALWT Gaming at checkout. Just type in ALWT Gaming through the search bar. You guys will find us that way. Make sure you guys are checking out our website at www.ALWTgaming. If you guys do like energy drinks, go to Rep Sports, REPP and there you can type in ALWT Gaming at checkout and get 15% off your Raise Energy, your water supplements, your workout powders, the whole nine, all of that. And of course, like always, do we have any final words before we go and dismiss out of here, gentlemen?
Love you guys.
Heard that. One last thing I do want to throw out there. Again, I did completely forget to even throw it out there, and I can't believe I forgot it, but it has been 2 weeks since we jumped on it. But me and Gravity Mark going to be jumping on some all-day anime this Saturday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Something that you guys don't want to miss. We have some updates for Tokyo Revengers. We have some discussions to have about My Hero Academia. We have hidden gems for you guys, so be on the lookout for all of that this Saturday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's the 9-Ball Corner Pocket. What's going down? Do you have any last words to say before we dismiss?
No, I've got none. Just be careful and, keep gaming.
Keep gaming. Keep gaming. All right, guys. Until next time. Control Alt
Complete.
Peace.